We're up to Ayin Zion. We're learning over here now the dinim of oil. He says as a oil, hainu gag hamayel. Oil means a roof, a covering roof. Aval pi she'einu nasa elu hagin mipnei hachama or mipnei hagsham ukadayma. Afilu oil aray, even if it's a temporary thing. Imhu tefach al tefach, berum tefach asar asaysam. That means that if after you make the oil, so tefach al tefach means that it's a square tefach or tefach, and the height is a tefach. In other words, that's called an oil already. The pshat is that the main thing is there has to be a top and there has to be an opening that it covers. So the top has to be one by one, and birum means the height has to be a tefach. So this is that this is covering in here. It comes to tefach. Huh?
Underneath is empty.
Right. That's what it says. Is also l'asaysim. V'lechan therefore, he gives a very practical example. But the problem with these practical examples are that it's not our style of living. So I have to work hard to try to figure out what it means. That's besides the point. Okay, but so he says, "V'lechan therefore, arisa shel tinnik." If you have a bed for a tinnik, shenaislim bo chashukim shel eis, that they put in. Let's say that this is the tinnik. This is the crib. Okay, so they have on each corner over here, there's a hole, and you stick in. There's a stick. And over these sticks, they make like a canopy. You see beds, especially by children's beds. You see they make like a canopy. So he said, so that's what he's saying over here. V'lachin arisa shel tinnik, a bed of a tinnik, shenaisam b'chashukim shel eitz, that they put in it beams, pillars, wooden pillars, u'person aleh sadin, and across the bed, they spread a lilac, a material. Also, lipwas oisa b'Shabbos u'b'Yontif. Then you're not allowed to spread it on Shabbos and Yontif. Elam came hoya m'b'oid yoim paris tefach. That means that this is. He's talking over here something like an awning. Okay? Let's talk about an awning. Yeah, let's talk about an awning on Sukkah. Same shayla. You have, so it wasn't that there was nothing on there before. When you build a Sukkah and you have what they call a shrak, so there is a rolled up thing, and then you have to unroll it to cover your sukkah. So the din is, this is what he's going to explain over here. The din is as follows. If Lamashal, before Shabbos, it wasn't rolled up entirely. It was one tefach was already drawn out of it. So then you're allowed to extend the awning, because that's called moisif al ha'oil. In other words, you're not allowed to make an oil, but you're allowed to be moisif on the oil. Now let's say the mashal, if you have an awning, and the awning is rolled up entirely.
Is the tefach in the roll?
No, not that the roll is a tefach. The awning itself
It's rolled up.
is rolled up entirely. So then you can't extend the oil. You can't extend it because you're making an oil. If one tefach of it was out, so okay. So now over here in these beds, it wasn't that they had on the corners of the bed there was 4 corners, let's say, and then you pick up like a roll of material and you put it on and you stretch it out. No, that's not what it was. They had this roll of material was on, but so that's why he's saying.
Stretch out before Shabbos.
So that's why he's saying. Let's look at the words again inside. V'lochen therefore, arisa sheltinik, shenoisen bo chashukim shaleitz. In the bed, they put poles of wood, uperson olev sadin, and on it they spread out a material. Also, first Isa b'Shabbos u'b'Yontiv, you're not allowed to spread it out on Shabbos and Yontiv. Elam kain hoya mib'oyim parus tefach. The havi rak taisvis oil aray demuta. Okay.
Aray is to
Yeah, it's aray. Yeah, okay.
If it be oil kevel,
Because later you're gonna roll it back. I mean, v'chein im hachashukim smuchim zelazeh. If the beams, the pillars, are close to each other, b'pochas mishleisha tvachim, less than 3 tvachim, nechshavim ka'oil. So they're considered like oil. I'll tell you the truth, I was muching zich today to try to figure out what he's talking about over here. What he did over here, he left out one word. Because I went to the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, with the same din as the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. And let me show you in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch has over here in סימן Shin Tezvav. Listen to this. I'm going to read it. He says it's like, Eitzim shetoikin roisham ha'echad b'doifen hasfina. Same thing you have by a sfina. On one side, you stick in these beams. Now listen to this. V'koifefin oisam v'hasheni be'igol. Al-Doifen Hasheni. That means the wood are like, go this way.
Wood itself.
In other words, it comes up from this side, and it doesn't go up straight, it turns, it bends. It bends and goes over to the other end. Now, you see them all pictures of what they used to have like a covered wagon, a balagola. Okay, how did it work? This is how it worked. They had these beams on one side. That the beam, let's say there were 6 beams on this side. The 6 beams went up all the way to the other side, and they bent over. And then on top of that, they put on the canvas that covered it. So that's the whole chiddush over here, where he says, the kaifa for Rosh and Hasheni, the eagle, al doifen Hasheni, uperson aleya machatzoles, and on top of this, they put out a mat, lahagin min achama or min agshaman. Is im yesh bereicha v'eitzim tepach, afilu be'echad mehem, muta lifres aleyim, machatzoles b'Shabbos. She'ena meisef ha'oil arei. He's saying as we said before that an oil has to be tefach al tefach. So if these woods are already a tefach, so even though there's space in between that's open, So even though space is in the open, so it's when putting on the material or the mat, the canvas, is considered moiseh bal oil. V is up if these poles are not a tefach wide, but they're not an oil. So now he says it depends. What does it depend on? How close are these beams one to another? Why? Because we have a din, Moshe Sinai of Lavud, that if two pieces of wood are next to each other,
so together they have to be
and they're not more than 3 tvachim away, they become united. So if that's the case, if you have, let's say, over here, within 3 tvachim, you have one wood and then a space, and then another wood and then a space, and another wood and then a space. Kumta is that these woods became together as one. For Shesa, but it's not going to help the people, because when it rains, it's going to rain in. I mean, Lavud is not going to stop the rain from coming in. So what do you have to do? So you have to put a pi alok, let's talk a mechuber, but in Mitzias, the rain is going to come in. So you have to put the canvas on top of it. So so now look in here, and you understand what he's saying here. He says is that Arisa Shotinik Shenoistam Bacha Shukim Shel Eitz. They put on the beams of wood, upersonal sadden, and over these woods they put a canvas. Also, Lifras Isa B'Shabbos Ubiyantiv. You're not allowed to spread out the canvas.
So not speak about that one.
Elim Kain Hoya Mib'ed Yoim Podas Tefach.
He's not speaking the one that goes. He's speaking the one that go over.
Yeah, it goes over it. That's what I said. It goes over it. B'Veilet the Havirak Toises Oyagara the Mutter. V'chein Im HaChashukim Smuchim Zelazeh. If the beams were close to each other, the Pachas Mishalosh Tvachim, less than a space of 3 Tvachim between them, so these beams are considered like an oil. Why? Ki Heicha Halacha L'Moshe Misinai Shekol Teva Shakisa Shalo Eina Mechuba. No. I skipped that. Shekol Pach Mishlosh Tvachim Chashav Kalavud. And what's that? Love Pirish Kamechuba V'Sasam. B'Mega Muta Lifres Aleh Sadin. That's the pshat over here. Teva Shaki.
If the sukkah also has that, if the sukkah has beams less than 3 tvachim apart,
No.
then you wouldn't need the tefach in the beginning.
No, but you can't put another tefach on top of it. You're putting another oil on top of an oil.
Are you putting now a shmata?
Yeah, it's shlak,
Shlak, yeah.
So you're putting out an oil. You're making another oil. Because between the canvas and the schach, there's a tefach in between.
Oh.
Okay? So now he says, Tevo, a box. Shakisu shalo eina mechuber b'tzidim. A box that has a cover, but there's no hinges. You could have a box, and you pick up the cover. There's hinges to pick up the cover. Also, little mishum, so you can't take it off the box. Mishum, the havi soisa oil. V'chein also l'chasais boy mishum the oisa oil.
But if it's connected, you could.
If it's connected, you could, because it's part of it. So now, listen to what he says, an interesting din of it. When you put a plate, tavla means like a flat piece of wood, let's say. You want to make a table. How do you make a table? So we know what a table is, but if you don't have a regular table, so we'll take a barrel, and on top of a barrel they put a flat piece of wood. is given on a table, right?
Yeah.
So he says there's a big problem. The problem is kshenaisin tava achavias lias u'shulchan. You want to make a table out of it. Tzrichin lahamed es achavias b'tzad hapasuach lamata. She'im yiten es adaf ala tzad hapasuach harei hu oiser oil. He's saying like this. You have a cup? Give me a cup. Man, there's water in it. Okay, here, this is a bottle. This is a barrel. Normally, you put this here. You made an oil, right? So he says, well, when you're doing this, you created an oil for under here. There's an opening with sides and everything. So he said, you know what you have to do? You have to put it this way.
Because it's small on the bottom.
Put the opening on the bottom. Once the opening is on the bottom, so you didn't make an oil. When this comes on top of here, this is not open. So you didn't close anything. If you didn't make a roof to it, it's not a roof to anything. So then that's the thing over here. Look once more the words over here. He says, "Ukashenaisin tabla." When you put a flat piece of wood, let's say, al chavius, over a barrel, lias l'shulchan, to make it into a table, tzrichin lahamid es achavius b'tzad hapasuach lamata, that the opening from the barrel should be upside down. She'im yiten es hadaf al tzad hapasuach, if he puts the daf across this open, is making an oil.
When you cover up a soda bottle, is it making oil? No.
No, because it's not a tefach.
What needs to be a tefach?
Okay. Let's see how the next one is also. I have the next one he's talking about piha ocean. And he teaches it in German, Yiddish, Kaimen Reichgang. You know what that means?
Fine.
That means a chimney.
Oh.
The Kaimen Reichgang means that the Reich, the smell, goes out through there. So now the question is, what I think is saying over here, that there's a difference if the chimney is like a chimney on top of the roof that goes out to the side, or that the chimney goes out to the side. That's what they can make a chiluk over here. Okay, we'll go through this tomorrow. Tomorrow.